Chapter 17. Fools and Ghouls.
The hell's wrong with you?
Peyton was staring at his comrade, completely dumbfounded and stupefied. He and Jada were taking cover behind the walls of a guard tower and had been staring at the empty battlement for over a quarter of an hour, just sitting and waiting for the right opportunity to step out of their concealment.
Were you listening or what?
Not really,
Jada said dryly, though she made no effort to answer his initial question. She kept her eyes fixed on the abandoned battlement without any discernible emotions on her battle-scarred face. She had a bad feeling about the mission from the moment Lord Cato approached her a few days ago. She couldn't explain her premonition with any logical reasoning, but her heart told her that going to Deriva would be a grave mistake. The morning before Lord Cato requested for her assistance, she had awoken from a dream she could no longer remember, thinking of nothing but death. Not the death of anyone in particular. Just death, the final destination of any living being. Since then, she made a promise to herself to take each step with more caution, and to take every decision with more thought. She remembered intending to reject her lord's request, but for some reason, didn't. It annoyed her that something as meaningless as a dream could have such a heavy impact on her, but was wise enough to accept it as a warning. She was a warrior of the highest caliber and only knew the existence of fear as a four-letter word. Still, she was uncharacteristically apprehensive in her approach, which was exactly why Peyton, her comrade for over 11 years, couldn't quite understand what he was seeing.
So we going then, yeah?
She peeked around the corner one more time to make absolutely sure no one else was on the battlement. It was dark. There was no light from any torches, and barely any shine from the moon and stars.
Oi!
Peyton suddenly shouted to the open air. Only his echo shouted back at him. Jada widened her eyes and slowly tilted her head to him as if to say, "Did you seriously just do that, you dim-witted beer-nipping cock-handler?" But her mouth never opened to turn those thoughts into actual words. Peyton answered her astonishment with a childlike grin.
Ah, and there she is. Welcome back, Jade.
He theatrically waved his arms to the side and lowered his head.
After you, my lady,
he said in his best attempt to sound sophisticated. She snickered, shoved him to the side, and stepped out to the fortified walkway. Peyton quickly followed suit with a massive grin still glued to his face.
Well, what do you think, huh? Game over, don't you agree? Everyone packed up and left, no?
Jada ignored his babblings and leaned over the parapet to get a better look of Deriva's layout. Some 50 feet below her, she saw a dizzying maze of the city's infrastructure halfway hidden inside a rising white sea of fog. It was as the Lord Captain had told them. The streets were barely distinguishable from one another. She trailed one of the broader streets that led to the heart of the city, a city square spanning about 300 yards across all sides. At the center of it, she saw a pristine white fountain shining brightly even in the faintest of lights. She felt strangely attracted to the marble structure that had the appearance of an old, veiny tree. Just by staring at it, she was reminded of her dream somehow. The dream that had already been forgotten but still lingered in the back of her mind like the smell of a rotten corpse.
Hello!
Peyton said, waving a hand in front of her eyes. Immediately, she snapped out of her reverie and shifted her eyes to her bearded companion.
It's completely abandoned,
she said solemnly.
No lights, no sounds, no movements.
Uh-huh. Eerie, yeah?
He idly picked his ear with his pinky and flicked a small, yellowish crumb over the parapet.
No one home over there either,
he said, and pointed at the distant pimple on the face of the mountain.
This makes any sense to you, Jade? Fucking poof! They all gone. Disappeared like farts in a storm. Ain't ne'er seen nothing like this before. Even if Sucky left with his goons, where the fuck is everyone else?
Lucky for us, we're not getting paid to think. That's the Lord Captain's job.
Peyton scoffed and mumbled something about invitations, or the lack thereof.
Don't let me hear you say you trust the guy, Jade.
She shrugged.
He's higher up the food chain. Trust is irrelevant.
He's a cunt. Nothing but a little bitch, I'm telling you. Barely any older than my baby, bro.
What does that have to do with anything? Not everyone his age is a moron like Ashton. Besides, would you say the same thing if Master Aisha led the mission instead?
Peyton cleared his throat and spat on the ground.
Perhaps not. But that's Isha fucking Selstein we'd be talking about.
Yes, and this is Cato fucking Knight we're talking about. Grandmaster Aemon's favourite. Don't you understand? It doesn't matter who's in command. They are the composers. We merely sing their songs.
Damn, girl,
he said and paused to think for a minute.
Ne'er took you for no poet.
Will you shut up and help me find a torch or something? We send off a signal and let him figure out the rest.
She opened one of the crates lying around on the walkway and grunted when she saw that it was only filled with arrows. Peyton grabbed one of them and ran a finger over the iron tip. He winced in disgust when he discovered the sloppy craftsmanship.
Fucking amateurs! Why don't you just shoot spoons while you're at it, huh?
Jada turned to him with eyes as cold as the moon.
Stop messing around and give me a hand already.
Nah,
he said, picking his teeth with the arrowhead. She didn't say a thing, but let her face do all of the talking instead. If she hadn't known Peyton for such a long time, she would have tossed him over the parapet for insubordination without a second thought.
just zap the air and be done with it.
Are you dumb or what? No, aura.
Yeah, I am, but that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Ain't paid to think or what have you. Besides, look around you. Ain't no one down there but fools and ghouls.
Jada leaned over the parapet and stared at the empty streets below. Neither fools nor ghouls could be seen. On top of that, the fog seemed to thicken by the second. If she waited much longer, whatever signal she was going to send wouldn't even be able to reach Lord Cato and the others.
Fine.
She finally relented and turned over to the other side of the battlement.
But you better watch my back, Pate.
He smirked and already did enjoy watching her back.
You know it, Jade. Always.
She emptied her thoughts and drew a deep breath with her eyes closed, letting the ice-cold air fill up her lungs. A dense concentration of energy immediately built up from within as she steered her focus to the palm of her hand. Steadily she exhaled. The air that left her lips had become hotter than the heat from a furnace. Galvanized by her aura, electricity started coursing through her veins like rats trapped inside a flaming cage. She felt the energy gnawing at her underneath the skin, desperately surging toward an outlet. Her fingers were tingling, and the manifestation of her power was accompanied by a sharp cracking sound, like whips lashing a bare back in rapid succession. Her body was blazing, and before too long, sparks began to fly from her hand, similar to a blacksmith striking a lump of red-hot steel. Manipulation of electricity was considered to be among the hardest techniques to master due to its volatile and destructive nature. She had to remain fully focused to keep the energy under her control, otherwise she could lose the tug of war and get consumed by her own power. Even for an experienced veteran such as Jada Graveheart, the use of aura-infused electricity was not without risks. She bit down on her teeth, let out a grunt through clenched jaws, and flung her hand over the parapet in a backhanded sweeping motion. Bright lights ejected from her hand and shot across the dark night sky like branches on a tree reaching outward for the sun.
God damn!
Peyton said in admiration of Jada's power.
Keep your eyes on the city, moron,
she said without turning to face him.
Yeah.
He grumbled and shifted his eyes to the abandoned city.
Fucking hell, ain't nothing to— Wait! Movement! Holy shit! I saw fucking movement, Jade!
Stop messing around,
she said half-heartedly. Her eyes were fixed on the darkness in front of her and could only hope that the others had seen the signal. If they happened to blink at the wrong time, the bright flash would have been missed, and the risk she took by using her aura all for nothing.
I ain't, Jade! I swear I saw someone hopping and clopping down there!
She turned around with a frown and rejoined her comrade at the inner side of the battlement.
Is that so?
She asked with pronounced skepticism.
Where?
Peyton grabbed her by the elbow and pointed at the city square with the marble fountain.
Over there!
He said.
Cross the entire goddamn plaza, I'm telling you.
Jada gazed at the location he was pointing at and kept her eyes fixed for a lot longer than necessary to conclude there was no movement to be seen, except for the undulating fog.
I don't know, Pate. Maybe you stared into the light too long and now you're seeing spots.
He did look directly into the light, in awe of Jada's power, in awe of Jada's everything. But he knew what he saw, and what he saw were no spots. Not in the way that Jada meant in any case.
Fine. You don't want to believe me. You don't fucking believe me.
Jada scoffed, though it also could have been mistaken for a chuckle.
Whatever, man. We're done here.
She said.
We did what we were supposed to do. Now it's up to the Lord Captain to figure out the rest. So, let's just return to the siblings for now. Maybe if you tell the lieutenant what you think you saw, he might let you investigate.
Peyton cleared his throat and spat a thick, brownish phlegm over the parapet.
If you're going to yank my chain, you better yank me till the juices come gushing, Jade. Bust my balls like that. The fuck's wrong with you, huh? You think I'm going to let some dripping baby cock order me around? Yeah, nah, yeah. Fuck that! The son of Biss ain't even fucking O'Nearan.
You should be careful with some of the nonsense you spew, Pate.
What? You're telling me you're taking his side now?
Jada chuckled at the childish notion, though the chuckle could easily have been mistaken for a scoff.
If sides were to be chosen, you know exactly where I would stand, dumbass. But it doesn't mean that I agree with all the dumb shit that sputter out of your dumb face.
I know what the fuck I saw is all.
She sighed, seemingly starting to lose her patience with him.
You're really not letting this go, are you?
I can't believe my fucking ears. I saw fucking movement, Jade. A fucking shade going from fucking ear all the fucking way to fucking there.
He pointed his finger at a building on one side of the city square and dragged it all the way to the right. Jada heaved another sigh, one that was even heavier than before. She knew she didn't see whatever he saw, but knew Peyton long and well enough to trust his judgment. She ran her tongue over her teeth and shook her head.
So what? You want to regroup and investigate with the four of—
Nah, fuck that nonsense. Stealth be on our side, just the two of us.
We're ordered not to engage,
she said, reminding herself of the promise to proceed with more caution and thought, though she already acknowledged that using her aura just now was exactly the sort of thing she shouldn't be doing anymore.
We're ordered not to engage.
He mockingly imitated her.
The Lord Captain will spank me,
he added for good measure, but mostly just wanted to entertain himself with that imagery. The first remark only raised one of her eyebrows, but the second remark earned him a smack flat on the face.
Sensitive, are you?
He said, rubbing his beard with a wince.
Think about it, though. If it's nothing, it's nothing. I'll admit my mistake and we'll go back to babysitting, aye? But if not, it's just a single fella, Jade. All we gonna do is take a quick peek, in and out, fucking whoosh whoosh. Ain't nobody have to know what the fuck even happened, you know? We apprehend the fool, whip him up something fierce, yeah? Before you know it, little bitch gon' spill his beans, Jade. All his fucking beans, I'm telling you. Shit, I bet we ain't even have to look for Suki after we done with him.
A lovely story,
she said with frigid indifference.
Come on, Jade. You know you wanna. One more adventure we be adding to the legendary tales of Peyton Jade.
She slightly twisted her lips, but otherwise remained a frozen statue.
If I do say yes, will you shut your dumb flapping mouth for more than 1 minute?
Peyton pursed his lips and twisted an imaginary key before tossing it over the parapet.
Fine,
she said and started walking.
It's Jade and Pate, I'll have you know, not the other way around.
Peyton burst into laughter and patted her on the back.
Atta girl.
Don't touch me.